Good day, friend. This on July 4th Eve, let me say hearty hello and Ohio Silver and a welcome to you. I hope you're doing fine today. And if you're not, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? Believe me, it could be worse. Always remember that. There are people right now somewhere real bad. That's all. That doesn't help you feel better, but it's always a matter of perspective. I wanted to share something with you. I was thinking about something. You know, there was an expression that was a very, it was big, kind of in the hip-hop and urban world. It was called keeping it real. Keeping it real. Chris Rock had a good thing about keeping it real. And keeping it real oftentimes meant doing, thank you, people did stupid things. By the way, thank you last night for watching. Mrs. L and me, that discussion is available for you to watch. Your kindness, of course, and your interest is always there. Anyway, I want to talk about keeping it real. And there was this, Chris Rock did this thing about it was keeping it real. Keeping me real stupid. And it was this phrase that, I don't know if anybody really understood what it meant, but it's kind of corny in a weird way. And I think I told you this. Mrs. L and I were out tooling about. There's something about, I don't know, certain things I like to do. Certain things that will mean more to me than I don't know why. We were out yesterday driving, and there's this little park. And there was like hardly anybody there. It was very interesting, very nice, very manicured. In Jersey area, because we're buying all the, vegetables and this corn season stuff. Anyway. And I looked and I said to her, look at this guy. He was sitting under a tree by himself. It's like he had a picnic by himself. And I don't know why that fascinated me. And I swear to God, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do a TV show called Where the Blank Are You Going? Because there's people always rushing around in New York City. Where are you going? I want to know. Can I follow you? Where are you going? But this one was, I wanted to know, what are you doing? He seems like a young person all by himself in this big field with like one tree covered, a sparsely tree. He was under this tree, kind of like meditating or something. It just was so interesting to me. I don't know why. And I've been thinking about this. It's like there's something that I want, that I really appreciate so much, and that's authenticity. Somebody who just says, I don't care whether you see me, I don't care whether you watch me, I don't care whether you like this. This is what I do. Then we're at this little farm stand thing. And they always try to lure people in, And for some reason, I do not know where this came about, but cornhole came in. Now, in my day, that had a completely different connotation. But for some reason, throwing a beanbag inside of a little hole on a slanted plywood is fun. I don't know where I saw it one time, I think on the West Coast. No, actually in Colorado, I think. I said, what is this? Cornhole. Oh, what? It was so funny. The fellow said, there's cornhole in the back. I said, yeah, so I've heard. I had no idea what he was talking about. Why is this what? And think about this. Let me think about it. People are sitting there throwing a little beanbag into a hole, into this slanted, inclined plywood. Why is this fun? I don't know. Is that real? Yeah. In a weird way, I thought, isn't it something as simple as that can get people's attention? This is fun? I'm all for it. If that's fun for you, great. Maybe Mumbly Peg next, or I want marbles to come back. Marbles. Now, let me stop right there. At another little farm, I love I want to put together an album somehow, and I can't do this because it would be terrible. But basically, it's called Bad But Sincere, and it's authentic. People who on the weekends decide we're going to play some music. Now, YouTube is filled with some great people. Leonid and friends are great. Have you seen Foxes and Fossils? Or I haven't seen them in a while, but they just started playing. They're great. Great. Oh my God, there's this. I think they're African American, I guess they're siblings, playing the greatest funk I've ever heard. Young. Oh my God. But then there's this one place, and it's some of the worst music, but sincere. And that's my album. Bad, but sincere. Authentic. Real. They really are playing this from the heart. Now, it may not be technically the best, but from the heart. It never, I don't know how much they get paid, but they're loving it, and people are digging it, and there's something weird about it. And I always, you don't understand when I tell you this. I don't say it just to say it. I imagine I'm speaking always to somebody from another planet. And I'm explaining, this is called music. What is music? Music is using English or whatever your native language is, and accompanying it with instruments and a regular kind of a syncopated beat to a rhythm, to a song, and there's a chorus in there. Because somebody from another planet would say, and what does this do? It makes people feel good. And everybody has a song that they like. Not everybody has a favorite poem. Not everybody has a favorite sonnet or a book. But everybody has either a song or an album or something, because music is so much a part of our life. It accompanies us during serious parts of our life when we're young. It's the soundtrack of our life. It does a lot of things. This is the most authentic. And it's technically not very good. I've seen other people playing. They're very good. But there's nothing real about it. It's almost they're phoning it in. I saw this guy sitting under a tree by himself. Mrs. L was saying, what are you fascinated about? Saying, what is he doing? All by himself, in the middle of nowhere. Is he, how do I say this? Is he meditating? I never realized this. I meditate constantly. But, He had like a picnic, yeah, but he was by himself. I loved it. I'm fascinated by why people do stuff. I love to watch, when you watch kids and you watch them play, I don't care where they are. I don't care where they're from. I don't care what their country is. I don't care. Have you ever seen two kids meet? And they recognize each other. Hey, you're my age. You're a kid too. And they kind of walk over to each other and they kind of size each other up. It's like a territorial thing. Okay. And somebody may have something or maybe whatever. And they kind of like check each other out. And then once okay, I trust you, then they start playing, and that's beautiful. Did you ever see that? They couldn't tell you, is this a black person? Is this a brown? I one time heard at a playground, a parent say, that little black kid, and it wasn't being racist, just trying to identify. And the little kid says, where? Had no idea what black meant. Had no idea. She's looking for a black. So black. I don't see that. Where is that? She don't mean their color. They're color black. There's no black. There's no black. Nobody's black. It might be brown. It might be whatever. I don't know. Chocolate. You can go through. Kids have this beautiful sense of, they look at you. They look at you, and they really can. They can tell. You ever see a kid, and then sometimes they grab their mom. They're like, I don't trust this guy. Animals do that. Kids do that. It's real. It's authentic. They know something. And then we destroy this. I love to watch dog. Don't ask me why. I'm into now livestock protection dogs. There's the Kangal, the Cane Corso, the Balaba, these names I don't remember. And these animals, they know you're okay, this one's not. The alpacas come up to them and just annoy the hell, and the dog says, all right. Little babies born on the farm, on the whatever, goes up to these mastiffs, these shepherds, these huge, are like lions. And the dog looks at him and says, you're fine. And the kid grabs him and jumps on top of him. But as soon as that dog hears that alpaca make this noise, gone. Now I could spend days taking those 3 subjects, or 4. Music, the guy with the picnic, kids and dogs and territory, and authenticity, and I could talk about that forever. Forget this wonderful thing, and how do we have that today? Have we lost this in ourselves? Yes. Have we lost a sense of authenticity? Yes. Most of our political discourse is complete and total nonsense. It's a series of pronounced, pretend, we just say stuff, And the worst is, oh my God, July 4th. Patriots! You're a patriot? What does a patriot mean? If I hear this one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am surrounded by so many phonies. Patriot. Here's a definition. Definition is a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. What about the internal enemies? What about the enemy if the enemy is the government? Well, I don't know. Then you're what? This is so interesting. Nobody ever looks at the words. It's from the French patriot, from the Latin patriota, patriota, fellow countrymen. What if your government is the enemy? What if I'm one of these attack dogs and I'm saying, wait a minute, they're going after my country. My country is the bad guy. My country is, well, that's another story. What do you mean it's another story? Well, excuse me. The biggest irony, this is the part that kills me. The irony and the interesting is that January 6th, those people did what we are celebrating tomorrow. Revolutionary. Remember, now I don't want to be too pedantic. This is not technically a revolution. The revolutions were the Chinese Revolution, the Russian. 1776 was not technically a revolution. This is one of the most interesting things somebody brought up. It's so interesting. It's not really they didn't revolt, they just separated from, they kind of like, it was more like a territorial thing. And I don't want to get too much into the specifics of this, but isn't it funny? So using what I've said about being authentic and real or whatever, are we patriots in this country? No. Do we want patriots? No. They want people, they want lemmings. The individual, the powers that be want lemmings. They do not want you to act as though you are how do I say this? They don't want, I don't know what the word is. They want you to talk a good game, watch your Fox News, but don't do too much. Think about these dogs. I sense something. I'm always saying, oh, they're after us. They're after our freedom. Oh, they're after our children. Oh, they're after... Oh. I know exactly what they feel like. Oh, that's not true. The story's not true. One of these days, I'm going to be allowed to talk about 9/11 one day and present a story, not who's behind what. No. Just here's what you don't know that happened. And it will astound people. But we're not ready for that yet. And nobody wants to hear it, and I understand completely. Nobody wants to hear this yet. Nobody's interested in this yet. I understand it. I understand exactly. I understand. I dig it. I understand it. That's all I am saying. I understand it completely. Now, let's go back to what I said before. Children. I look at what's happening to children today, and I don't know what I'm seeing. And I don't know how to get people's attention. And Mrs. L, and there are it doesn't either. And there are some of the biggest bunch of phonies who are commandeering this issue, and they're loving this. And that's okay. I guess, whatever it is. Do what you want. That's fine. So that's the children part. The fellow under the tree, there is such a need for spirituality, introspection. What word would you like to call it? What would you like to call it? What would you like to I don't know. What would you like to call this term? What would you like to call it? I don't even know I don't even know the word. I don't know what to call it anymore. Now, there is something I saw. There is a woman. Her name is, and this is so good. By the way, American Thinker is a great site for a wonderful thing. Global Research is terrific. Lou Rockwell, I love. This is Caitlin Johnstone. Caitlin Johnstone. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it Johnstone or Johnston. I don't know. And it works like this. She has this thing called 15 useful facts. I'm not going to read. But listen to this one, just number one, and I love this. I'll just read it to you. Then you can just go to Caitlin Johnstone. She's on Twitter.com. It's easier to understand what's going on in the world when you mentally mute people's narratives about what's going on and just look at the material movements of wealth, resources, weapons, and people. That's how you separate what's real from the manipulations and empty narrative fluff. How you see who's doing the taking and hoarding, and how you figure out who the real aggressors are in international conflicts. I'll read one more. The three most overlooked and underappreciated aspects of the human experience are consciousness, the extent to which conditioned thought patterns dictate our lives, and the influence of propaganda. Now, you can go on. Some of the most fascinating stuff there is. And we need... Oh, Tahuya Bar and Grill. Thanks, Professor, for giving this insanity some very important perspective. Hand pops for all. Thank you, Tahuya. We need a church. We need a time to meet. It doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be anything so people of different faiths or without faith. But I like the idea of the homily. We need a place where we can go and we can just kind of be calm and peaceful and think about something. And when you notice something, when you focus something, when you look at the beauty of music, when you see how children play, when you look at the idea of how animals, nature, whatever you want to call it, you will be able to glean from that something that applies to your life right now. You are being overwhelmed with more information than you can possibly deal with. You are being saturated with more information than you know what to deal with. You are being overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. You don't even know where to. You don't even. There's no. It's like you're a bee and you haven't even landed on the flower yet because you're over here now. And you say, but I'd like to spend some time. So you go for somebody to maybe do the digesting of the story for you. I know people are fascinated and say they say, did you see what's going on in France? That's as far as it goes. Wow, isn't that something? Yeah. What's that about? I had somebody say that to me. I said, let me ask you a question. Let me rephrase that. Not what is France about. What do they tell you it's about? What are they telling you? What do they tell you France is about? Tell me. That's the question you should ask. Not what is it about. What are they telling you? Second, do you believe that all of this activity is spontaneous? Do you believe this is what happens when people who have it up to here over what they believe to be is a racist event or police abuse? Do you think the spread of this is something that is spontaneous? And if not, who do you think is responsible for that? Are you aware of other organized activities? Once you understand something, once you see something, you have to start being a detective. You have to start looking at things and asking, well, what is this about? Don't read any more the issues of what's being presented. Do not read Twitter trends. That is not only propaganda, that is changing your focus to something which has nothing to do with anything that even remotely represents reality. When you talk about patriots, ask somebody. By the way, the January 6th people, I've got to ask you this question. They might have been motivated by, at least in their own minds, some belief in correcting something. And you can think all you want. It is not against the law to think that the election was stolen or that whatever. It is not against the law. You could think that if you want. But the question I have is simply this. Would you have possibly pursued this as a method of speaking? Would you? I wouldn't have at all. The moment that anybody gets together and says, no. Why did they do this? Why do people climb stuff? And what do you think you're doing? And I know this was not a revolution. This was not an insurrection. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was trespass. It was maybe, unless there's a reasonable mistake of fact where somebody goes like this and you thought, okay, so I'm being invited? Yeah, come on in. Okay. Well, I'm not trespassing if you're inviting me. That's kind of negates that element, but as we move along. How does this make any sense? But aside from that, aside from whether you would have taken that particular approach, whether you would have whatever, and don't ever tell me that we're going to that this was a revolution because there's just not enough people, and you're not going to go up against the 82nd Airborne. It's just not. Stop it. It was a bunch of people it was like a big bar fight. And there's something about people who get together, especially little boys, who love to put on glasses. Do you remember the story of the Stanford prison experiment? When you put on dark glasses, and you turn your hat, you turn it backwards, and you've got that crusher, you've got that, I'm Chris Kyle, I'm military, there's this crypto homoerotic little boy syndrome where people are loving to play soldier today. It's like I've never seen. YouTube is filled with this. Filled with it. And the people who were the people who were involved in real wars, have you ever heard them talk about it? You ever heard them talk about it? I mean, they were there, and it forever changed their lives. Vietnam, World War II. But today's version is like, I'm going to be a YouTube person, and I'm going to. By the way, let me say something here. I saw this. Ray Epps. Mark my words, you have not heard the end of this. I don't know the first thing about that story, but I know all of a sudden, there's this, I think through Tucker and others, that's the guy. And when you do, they're not done with that one yet. Believe me, that we're not done with that one yet. Let me just make sure everybody understands something. When you are in a position, this is called inciting a riot. This not. I'm not saying Tucker did, but the crime about inciting. When you say that one, the crowd. This is crowd theory. This is Gustave Le Bon. This is ochlocracy. The crowd loses individual morality, becomes a part of the collective, and will move wherever you say. Be very careful when you say, that guy is a Fed, that guy is an undercover, he's a confidential informant, he's an operative, those are Feds, look at them, see they're all wearing the same watch. You don't know nada. And if you are true, remember, what you are doing, just keep in mind, this is a new world now, you're inciting. And you might be right. You may be right. That's a blasphemer. Get him. Does this sound familiar to you? That's a witch. Wait a minute. Hold it. We never learn from this. We never learn. Wait till you hear that Ray Epps story. How his life has changed. How he had to move. How his life's been changed. Oh, Fox, get ready. That ain't going nowhere yet. The moment that everybody is saying something, the moment that people are saying something, the moment that you the moment that you are using a phrase, ask yourself, do I know what the hell I'm talking about? Bilderberg, what does that mean? Huh? I heard somebody the other day say Bilderberg. What is Bilderberg? What does that mean? Because I've been with that one forever. Where'd that word come from? What does it mean? What does it denote? Well, that's a group. No, tell me about it. I don't know. That's right. You're using it like there's, you know those Velcro. It's kind of interesting how nobody thought about, hey, let's just have Velcro and put a patch on, and then we take the patch off when we're going in, we put the patch on. It's brilliant. No sewing. They didn't think of that. How long have we had Velcro? I don't know. So here's my Velcro. Okay, what am I? I'm a conservative. Here's my conservative pen. I'm a patriot. What does that mean? Well, I'm a patriot. Okay. Now, President Trump did a lot to invigorate that way of thinking. Invigorate that. Patriot. What does that mean? Chances are a patriot is a phony. This is somebody who doesn't know diddly squat about anything, but loves the label. Loves the label. When you go to Dallas-Fort Worth, or the best, I'll never forget, this was in somewhere in Wyoming, Colorado, I forget what it is. I saw some real cowboys. I mean, real. With the boots and the look, and they were working, and this was not a joke. This was not a joke. They weren't, looking for love. They weren't Johnny Lee and on the mechanical bull. These were real. When you go to other places, you see, oh, that's a guy that's a redneck. That's a different version. And then you got the other one too, is he's just a kind of a, well, I'm just a, I'm going to be like a J.R. Ewing. I just got a big hat and some boots, but I'm really a phony. But I want you to think this. The real cowboy says, I don't care what you think. I am this. And the redneck is, rednecks and hillbillies. You know the difference? I do. Big, 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 big difference. I like authentic. What did I say when I first started? Keeping it real. So there are these people who have these Velcro, put their stickers on. I'm a patriot. I'm a Republican. I'm a Trump. MAGA this. Now let me ask you something. What is the left? What stickers do they put on? What patches do they put on? American flag? No. God? No. Family? No. What? Peace sign? Okay. What else do they put on? LGBTQ flag? There you go. What else do they put on? Not really sure. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Isn't that something? See how that works? You see how all of this stuff works? You see how this is the most fascinating thing in the world to me. This is how it works. We live in a world of phonies. We live in a world of people who just go out of their way to be something they're not. And you are going to see the biggest bunch of... And if you want to see the phoniest, the most fraudulent, the most theater group ever, Fox News is Carnival, Punch and Judy, Sideshow, absolute bunkum. Bunkum, I say to you. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Bunkum. They are unbelievable. I can't say it enough, and I can't put it into words, and I cannot stand phonies. Or people who are kind of misdirected. I see it on the left. Abortion. What do you want with abortion? Do you want to have an abortion? Well, no. Have you had an abortion? No. Do you know anybody who hasn't been able to get an abortion? No. Do you think there's a law against abortions? No. If there is a prohibition of abortion in your state, what would you do? Do you know that there are some cities that have dry laws on Sunday? You can't buy liquor. We have something in Bergen County, New Jersey called blue laws. Have you ever seen this one? Have you ever heard of a blue law before? They still are. Let me get the actual. A blue law, a law prohibiting certain activities such as shopping on a Sunday. They still have this. It's the weirdest thing, and nobody understands why there. Why just... It's the damnedest thing. Bergen County, no good. And certain things. Is it constitutional? Sure. Sure it is. Nothing against that. And if you're a store owner, if you say, wait a minute, this is so stupid, how come I can't go? It's legal. It's legal. What's the matter with you? By the way, we need 300 likes. I hate to keep saying this, my friends. I can't. I got to tell you this. And don't forget our dear friends. I'm going to tell you this. Did you see our friends at MyPillow? Did you see what they're doing right now? Do you see what their deals are? Do you see these incredible, look at this, the 4th of July Giza Elegance MyPillows, 4th of July special, $19.98. I got to throw this one in. The MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special, My Mattress toppers, my God, all season slippers. Let me just stop right there. You talk about Americans. You talk about great people. You talk about brave people. MyPillow.com. You support them and you support freedom of speech. I know that may sound crazy, but it's true. Plus, the products are great. And use promo code Lionel, and you get a free gift. The link's right there. Can't be any clearer. Support them. Be a patriot. Liberty, whatever words work for you. I like somebody who just stands up. That's why I like Bobby Kennedy. I like anybody who says whatever they want. So that's why I like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders says whatever he wants. I like people who say what they want. But let me go back to what this stuff is. So when you ask these lefties, what patch do you wear? You're into abortion. Where is abortion? Where is it being denied? It's being denied nowhere. So do you really mean this? No, not really. They tell me to say that. Can you tell me anywhere today where gay people are prohibited or discriminated? Please, I will join you. Is there a reason for this? Gay today versus trans. Who's a trans? Where is this? Can we meet? Can we meet? I swear to God, I'm not trying to be dense here or whatever or impertinent. I don't know one trans person ever. I don't know where they are. I don't know where trans people are. I'm not. I've seen somebody, dress whatever, which is fine. Where is this? Where are these kids coming forward and saying, I'm in the wrong body? You're 8 years old. Where is this? Do you really believe that, left? Are you looking at me in the eye? You really think so little of your kids? You would take your child to be mutilated upon what? Some whim? At 8 years old, 9, 10, whatever it is? Do you really mean that? They would say, not really. No, seriously, no. I know so many people who say, look, I may be left. I may have the BLM sticker on my lawn. I may have the, whatever it is, the flag or whatever. But I want my little princess to be a little girl and to get married and I want to be a grandma and I want to do all, and I don't know where the hell. So no, I don't, no. And my little Muffy here, or Buffy, or Megan, or whatever, she's going to be on the soccer team, and we hope she gets that big scholarship. And no, I don't want some guy coming in and just eliminating her from competition because he is genetically superior to her. No, I don't want that. So where is this contingent? Where is this? And are you, by the way, for taking all the student loan money and sending it to Ukraine? No, I don't. And you've got that Ukraine flag on your Facebook. Do you know where Ukraine is? Not really. Are you one of the people who called it the Ukraine? Yes, I do. Do you know what the hell you're talking about? Not a clue. You just want Trump out of the way. Yes. And that's why Trump, as soon as he leaves professional political life, we get our sanity back. A little bit more of it. Not all of it. But as long as he's not there, they're not going to listen to you. As long as Trump is here, as great as you think he is, and if they nominate him, if they nominate Trump, and I think the world of Trump, but Trump is Godfather 3. Remember this, the 2016 Trump was Godfather 1, the best, right? Godfather 2 was 2020 election. It was good. It was great, had its moments. There were some wonderful moments of debates, but it was all about sort of, the election being denied. And that's like this Kerry Lake. I am so tired of Kerry Lake. You have what is the reason why anybody is listening to Kerry Lake? Please, for the love of God, what is the attraction? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So, when you get a chance, if you ever get a chance, And you get to Philly. Philly's a funky town. A funky town. It is, it's a tough, tough place. You must go to the National Constitution Center. It's a beautiful building. I think it was the first time it was, I think it was commissioned by, there's some lefties and all that, but for the most part. They've got over 150 primary source documents. Independence Week celebration. It is great. Great. It's on Arch Street. Beautiful, beautiful building, interactive. That's worth the trip. Across from Constitution Hall. This is the one that'll just make you. I get so I don't know what the word is. I just get so Independence Hall, excuse me. This is on Chestnut between 5th and 6th. Oh my God. I see this and I just, wow. There is not any place, not the White House, not the Washington Monument, nothing like that. That's where it started. That's the story. It's incredible. And then there's this church burial. Benjamin Franklin is there. They put pennies. Remember, penny earned, a penny saved is a penny earned and all that. They throw pennies on his Benjamin Franklin. But this fellow, Tench Coxe, one of my favorites. He is one of the foremost speakers and advocates of the Second Amendment. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You really want to get some history? That's it. That's where it starts. That's it. I mean, it is something. It's just like, wow. And that's what this country is. Not Joe Biden, and not Donald Trump, and not Carrie Lake, not any of these people. That's it. That's it. And there's other things that are great, the Supreme Court and all that kind of stuff. But that's where it started. And it is the most incredible thing in the world. And we're all about the Constitution. Our Constitution, I think, is the oldest. Even there are other, by the way, and this is what you got to understand about this. This is so critical. There are other countries that have incredible constitutions. I think Russia had one, or China. Great, enumerated liberties and rights. They went crazy. But guess what? They're not enforced. And when they're not enforced, what do? This is written to be upheld. Now, you may disagree as to how this is interpreted, but this beautiful genius of separation of powers, veto, this balance, it's just, and it's very imperfect in some respects, but it's unbelievable. That's what the country is. This little thing right here, when you get a chance, this beautiful little, this is my personal, got all my stickers on it from voting. This is it. And I'm still reading. There's so much to learn. And they are trying to take this away. You have no idea. I want to say something to you right now. I want you to listen to me. I want you to understand something that happened. The originalists, the people who believed in the original text of this, it's not a crazy idea by any stretch of the imagination. In 1965, there was a case called Griswold against Connecticut. And Justice William O. Douglas was given the case. And it was a case involving a prohibition against contraception, even by married people. It was a case. It was a story. It was kind of stupid. And you can go Griswold v. Connecticut. We say Griswold against if you are a smart one. This is Esther Griswold against the state of Connecticut. And this is the best one. And in 1879, Connecticut passed a law that banned the use of any drug, medical device, or other instrument in furthering contraception. A gynecologist at the Yale School of Medicine opened a birth control clinic in New Haven in conjunction with Estelle Griswold, who was the head of Planned Parenthood in Connecticut. They were arrested and convicted of violating the law, and their convictions were affirmed by higher state courts. Their plan was to use the clinic to challenge the constitutionality of the statute. The question was, does the Constitution protect the right of marital privacy against state restrictions on a couple's ability to be counseled in the use of contraceptives? Does the Constitution protect the right of marital privacy? There is no right of marital privacy. There is no right of marital privacy. None. And it said, listen to this, a right to privacy can be, here's the word, inferred. What? Inferred. Inferred? Wait a minute. From several amendments in the Bill of Rights. And this right prevents states from making the use of contraceptive by married couples illegal. It's what? 7-2. What? Justice Potter Stewart, remember him, who gave you in Jacobellis, I know it when I see it. Hugo Black filed dissenting opinion. Stewart argued that despite his personal view that the law was uncommonly silly, he felt that the court had no choice but to find it constitutional. And the very simple thing is this. The Constitution doesn't speak on it. Let me say this again. The Constitution doesn't speak on it. Oh, well, so here's what you do. Connecticut, overrule this. Connecticut, Hartford, or whatever your state, overrule it. Pass a law. This is silly. Silly. 1879 is still in the books. Overrule it. What are you doing? That's it. Done. No, they want to go to the Supreme Court. They want to create it. So William O. Douglas crafted this, and he used this word. This is the most incredible. This is what we all laugh at this one. In a 7-2 decision authored by Douglas, by the way, the most liberal, it might have been the longest serving, I think. Anyway, the court ruled that the Constitution did in fact protect the right of marital privacy, we don't know where that is, against state restrictions on contraception. While the court explained that the Constitution does not explicitly protect the general right to privacy, here we go, the various guarantees within the Bill of Rights create, here we go, get ready, this is what we all laugh at, penumbras or zones that establish a right to privacy. Together, the third amendment, the right against quartering soldiers at your home, the first, third, fourth, and ninth amendments create the right to privacy in marital relations. There are penumbras. Now, here is the rule. That's nonsense. I think it's stupid to have a law that prohibits contraception, but it's not constitutional. If tomorrow somebody were to say tattooing is against the law in the state of New York, depending upon how it's phrased, depending upon the objections, it might be constitutional. So ban it. The Constitution does not guarantee everything. It just doesn't. And the Constitution talks about that you may not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Life, liberty, or property without due process. It doesn't say that the Constitution or the government can't take away your life. can't take away your liberty, can't take away your property. Oh, no. It can do that. The only thing it guarantees is the procedure. Not the substantive right to life, but the procedure. It's a procedural law. How do you get rid of life? How do you deny liberty? How do you... It doesn't talk about that. It talks about the procedure. Doesn't give a damn whether you... We don't care. Hey, they sentence this guy to death. Did they give him a trial? Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. You think they should be able to kill... Yeah, because at the time of the Constitution, the death penalty was for everything. So somebody said, oh, no. There are some rights that are so important, so critical, so manifestly that we create them. We call it a substantive due process, which makes no sense. Substance and procedure have nothing to do with each other. It's either substance or procedure. Substantive due process, it's oxymoronic. It doesn't make any sense. Liberal courts don't care about that. Whatever, because the Constitution's breathing and it's living and it grows, it changes, and it encompasses all types of new aspects of... Oh, stop it. The Constitution, the very first one, had the Fugitive Slave Clause, which, by the way, was removed by the 13th Amendment. But the first Constitution said, hey, before we get done, if my slave runs away, you got to give him back. Okay. Should we be proud of that? No. Dred Scott? No. Of course not. You play by the rules. If you don't like something, pass a law. That's simple. That's simple. The death penalty. I'm against the death penalty. But it's legal. I just told you. Life, liberty, life with due process. So if I got a problem with the death penalty, I'm not going to argue Constitution. I'm not going to say, isn't it about time that we declare the death penalty constitutional? No. The way you apply it might be a little different. Maybe the due process part of this, but not the death penalty. There's nothing. And there's nothing that gives you the right to an abortion. Nothing. And what did they use? What did Harry Blackmun use in 1973? Privacy. He took that stupid privacy and substantive due process and created this nonsense. And by the way, Roe was overruled by Casey, which people forget. So So what I'm saying is, I'm on the same side of you. I'm going to tell you this much. The U.S. Open's coming up. If Federer, I always give this example. If Federer is playing Nadal, and you're a line judge, and you're saying, I can't believe this. This lane, this box, this square that you got to get the serve into, this has been around since the days of Don Budge and Bill Tilden. Oh, for crying out loud. Margaret Court. These guys, this guy could hit a shot glass every time. They're so good. You know what? I think the game of tennis is important. And even though the tennis rules say it's it, I'm going to call the shot out. I'm going to call it out because I don't think this currently reflects the state of the game. And frankly, I don't think that net, I think it's too low. I think you should raise it because the skill of these players today, the skill of tennis is such that they would say you can't do that. Either change the rules of tennis. What was that? Either change the rules of tennis. Oh, so change the rules first? So I can't just on my own just say things like, I think a foot fault is ridiculous. Come on. No, you have to change it. Thank you. Well, if it's good enough for tennis, it's good enough for the Constitution of the United States. What do you say? So remember, if you want to be a patriot, read, learn, and follow the rules. That's all. And I want you to leave you with one thing. I love America. I love you. I sound like Mr. Rogers. I love Americans. They're fat and bilious and stupid, and God love them. They're like my dysfunctional family. The government, I despise. We have to just figure out how to do this within the law. We need an intellectual political revolution or something. This is a joke. It is so corrupt. It's like the thing where they used to say, well, they opened up your Uncle Dave, took him to the surgery, opened him up. He was so gone, they just closed him up and sent him home. He's just too far gone. That's where we are. Let's face it, we are too far gone. And you know what's going to happen in 2024. I don't have to tell you, you know it. Okay? But in the meantime, God bless America. I love America. And you know what I love the most? I've told you this, music. I was listening before to some of this beautiful music with John Hyatt, Peter Rowan, Molly Tuttle, Billy Strings, Lindsay Lou, all these great, Jerry Douglas, that great almost Civil War-ish that wonderful bluegrass fiddle, Rhiannon Giddens, and just that sound. Oh my God. I get... It's real American, which of course is Gaelic and Appalachian. And anyway, so that's what we're going to do, and that's tomorrow. In the meantime, you have a great day today. I hope everybody's off. We're not off. We keep going no matter what. We never stop. Never. Let me also tell you, you have been terrific in supporting Mrs. L. She has a brand new video that is out. This morning we went on a dear friend's show, both of us, for an hour straight. An hour. And it's a good friend of ours. He was doing a radio show, and we are an hour each. Thank you. Each. An hour. And the best part is, she's an animal on the radio. She can go forever. She doesn't know it. We never stop this. You don't understand it. This is a mission. This is a mission. And it's a glorious mission and a righteous mission. Anyway, that is her YouTube. Please. And for one thing too, I want you to show me. You know, for all Elon Musk and all his, hey, he's doing all this. Okay, fine. For some reason or another, I don't know why, but there are some folks who are absolutely, it seemingly responsible for, I don't want to say holding back, but I think throttling Mrs. L's Twitter account. And it's one of the best there is. So I want you to go right now to Lynn's Warriors. Just click this right here. Just click it. And Twitter is still the most important, critical, how do I say this? It is the most critical political social media platform there is. That's why Elon Musk wants to do the scraping and everything to prevent high-tech ghouls from affecting it. In any event, all right. Thank you so much. Tahuya, thank you so much, my dear friend and dear friends, for your support of us. Thank you so much. Remember, if you want to support us, super chats are available. There's also a series of links to support our move. This is it. This is no radio station. There's no salary here. Nobody's saying, hey, here you go. It is an intellectual battle. And guess what? The people that we fight the most are the people supposedly on our side. But that's for another day. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight, 7 p.m. Also, like this video. Thank you for the likes. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. And see you tonight. Don't forget, until then, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.